Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live on Tuesday. And where is Susan? Susan is here. How you doing, guys? And this camera, it's giving me a hard time. I need to. There we go. It's unpleasant. As you can see, I have new toys on the back. I received a couple of gifts for students and clients. They know me so well. You can see my new big Darth Vader. So talking about Darth Vader, I wearing the right clothing for the right life because we're going to be talking about complicated conversations. And sometimes, unfortunately, the most complicated conversations coming from the people we love the most, our family. And like I says, it's not that I want to set a bad precedent, but Thanksgiving tend to be one of the most complicated time of the year. Actually, a lot of people has been asking for divorce lawyers this week and next week. Do you know that some professions are seasoning regarding what you talk about in conflict? Yes, they are. Okay, let's see where everything is happening. I have somebody who complained that I never introduce myself. I do. Okay, let's introduce myself properly. My name is Susan Ivitz. I'm a behavioral neuroscience and strategic consultant. What that mean? I take a dead horse and make it win the derby. That horse can be a product, the company, or a team. I work with managers, I work with sales teams, and I do a lot of sprint. A sprint is to get from idea to resolutions in only 5 days. What I use in order to get that? Body language, micro expression, statement analysis, elicitation, face reading, that's my best area of expertise. I have masters in manipulation, obedience, and false implanted memories. I have masters in behavior economic, how to pair one with music to increase sales. And now I'm doing neuroscience and neuromarketing. So that's me. That's the host. We're going to be with you until December the 12th. From that, probably going to be repetition because everybody in the team is taking a month of vacation. So let's go to the topic of the day: difficult people at the table, from emotions reaction to smart responses. Questions are more important than the answers, but sometimes the stupid questions, they need to be responded with the smart answers. The concept, to me, at least personal, you don't need to think about that or you don't need to agree, is the perspective. How many people can tell me if you see the number 99 or the number 66? Whoever reply 99 is right. Whoever replies 66 is right too, because it has to do with perspective. As I put it on the slide in initial, is politics, is religion, is sexuality, is work ethic, is generational, it's wealth. It's like no topic on the table, no matter if it's a family, no matter if business, is proper to be talked. My generation, at least the ones who was born in the 60s and 70s, we grow up in a different way. You can tell me bitch, and I will say, thank you very much. I'm so glad that you got the message. So don't mess with me. But now you says it's when I one of the reason I stopped doing the majority of the keynote speakings in the United States, not so much in Europe, is because I never gonna know what I'm gonna encounter, what somebody gonna throw a glass or a Coca-Cola in my head. I don't know. The truth to be told, I don't have any problem with your ideology, but the point is, you don't know what are the topics that you can talk, and it's horrible because communication is the first step to talk to other people to know what happened. But if I'm afraid all the time, then no matter what I'm saying, no matter what is my flag, no matter what is my gender, somebody's gonna punch me in the face. We start conversations on the wrong way. So I hope this presentation helped you to ease Thanksgiving and problems on the table. And I think my mic again went mute. Okay. Okay, I think that I'm having problems with my mic. Is somebody please tell me you can hear me? Elba, I need you there. Can you hear me? My mic went off. Okay, guys, sorry, that's happened in life. I don't know why my mic is giving me hard time. So I don't know if you guys can hear me. Somebody can give me a thumbs up. It's supposed to be apologies. That happened when you are going live. I cannot hear myself. Bear with me a second. I still cannot hear myself. Somebody can please tell me that we are good to go. Okay, I'm going blind. Elba, if you can tell me, please, if we're going. So I guess that we are good to go. Microphone. Why? Why you need to? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, probably I'm gonna edit this. Please let me know if you are hearing to me. Anybody can tell me on the chat. Yep, I can hear you. Thank you. I didn't see you. Sorry. Thank you. You know what? Technology. I hate technology. Maybe it's the juju because we're talking about communication. Turkey effect. And Elva, you need to tell me if this is real or that is something that you come up. More food, more competition, especially for men. And this has to do with the precambric brain, that the fighting for the food. It's not a competition, it's testosterone. Competition is split into conversations, holiday tables, amplifying dominance behavior. Why? It's territorial. Humans are territorial. We think that territorial only happen with animals. You should start seeing more animal kingdom and animal shows to understand how much territorial humans we are. Believe it or not, we are as much or more territorial than any animal on the behavioral kingdom. Guess what was the problem? I sat on top of the cable. God, I'm so stupid. You see, irrational humans. It's not the turkey, it's the testosterone. And guess what? Women have testosterone too. And that's happened, and you find out that when you get menopause, believe me. Tomorrow, we're going to do another thing that has been asking a lot. 5 body language myths that you should avoid and forget about it. And as a special treat, guess what? You're going to have an ebook that you're going to be able to download to get the studies and all the things. So tomorrow is the last live of the week. Thursday and Fridays, nobody's going to be watching. We're going to probably repeat the best moments of the other ones. But on Monday, the other Monday, we're going to be back. So tomorrow, you're going to know all the body language myth just on time to take the plane to go to see your family. Why families conversation explodes? What do you think? Do you remember when you were a kid with your brothers and sisters, with your uncles fighting for things that doesn't exist to be fight? Do you think that you want to grow up? Do you know what is the difference between a kid and an adult? The size of the toy and the money you have to pay for those toys. Your brain on family. Your nervous system expect acceptance, conflict, feel danger. One of the things that is more complicated behavioral wise, and in psychology, again, I'm not a psychologist, I just work with a lot of psychologists, is that family is supposed to be the place where we feel safe. So when anything threat that safetiness, we feel that danger escalate. One of the worst part or one of the worst people that you can encounter is the ambivalent people. If you're an asshole, that's okay. If you're a lovely person, I know you're a lovely person. But if you're ambivalent, in family situations, our brain tricks us to ambivalent situation. All family roles resolve and capture your response. If you are the small, for example, I'm the shorter in my family. Everybody in my family, my parents used to be taller. My brothers and sisters are taller. So I remember the slap on the back of the head. Yeah, they didn't put any inspiration on you. You're the shorter one. Guess what? When we get all together, those resentment come back. The point is, now I'm tall enough and I can punch back. That doesn't mean they're not happening. Emotion skill before logic activate. We need to understand that humans are emotional creatures. So if you think that you can be controlling your emotions, you cannot. Remember the conversation we had with Melanie yesterday? And he says, you need to bring a hostage negotiator and the captain from a police unit to talk about conversations. Yes, because guess what? even her, that she's an expert, have conflict dealing with family. Your brain reacts to family disagreement like a threat. Again, because we are wired, the family is the safe space. Let's see if we have any questions because I have the screen big. Contact us. Thank you, Elva. She is putting us in contact. The Ottoman Empire. I know who you are. I know who you are. Thank you for being here. You have been really follow all week. Harsh startups. Pay attention to this because the comment on the last, I wish we can do the regular PowerPoint and StreamYard so I can unveil the things. I'm going to start from the back to the end. Conversations don't explode at minute 30. They explode at minute 7. Why and how? If I says, you did, I don't care what you're saying after. You're pointed. And if I says, listen to me, the tone of the voice and what I says, listen to me. We should, tone of the voice is extremely important. You need to manage your tone. And one of the biggest tricks that I'm going to give you that I learned, I think was more for being married than being a profiler. When you start a conversation with, you didn't take the trash, it's never about the trash. One of the things that I love about the last book about Dr. Gottman, he's an expert in relationships. And I don't remember the name. I can tell you everything about the chapters of the book, but I don't remember the name of the book. Having good conversations, something like that. Somebody can put it on the chat. Dr. Gottman, he's been in Seattle. He is, for the last 30 years, analyzing couples. And it says, it's never about the trash. If you think about it, the majority of the conflicts of the arguments you have at work or with your partner or significant one has nothing to do with the topic you argue with. Things scale, things start topping, you start getting more aggressive, you get pissed off. And you says, suddenly you look for the most stupid things to fight for it. So instead, you didn't take the trash. Maybe we need to rearrange priorities and how we can help each other. I'm telling you the same. I'm thinking about you the same. But I open the conversation from another way. Tone of the voice, not only the tone of the voice you use. I don't have a tone of the voice on radio. That is the reason for me it's so important that the mic work correctly. Because I know if I'm going to my regular tone of voice, you're not going to be here. But the tone of voice is on the words you use. On the company, we have a zero policy that you can say whatever you want, how you want it. Because I don't care what you're saying. It's the intent behind what you says. And sometimes with the kind of situation that we work on, we need to release the stress. So it's allowed. You can tell me with the poker face, so soft, and you piss me off, and you can be super aggressive, and we can laugh with you. We're not going to take it personal. I don't take anything personal. A harsh opening activate fight or flight instantly. Like I says, you didn't take the trash. What about if we talk about how we can help each other to make the chores of the house better? Even if you say it 17 times, try the 18 in a different way. Don't predict the entire conversation. How you end a conversation and how you finish a conversation is going to predict absolutely everything. We call it the hourglass. You see, all hourglass is 2 triangles. How you start a conversation and how you finish a conversation are the 2 things that I'm going to remember the most. What happened in the middle can be forgiven, can be forget. Actually, when we work with lawyers, we love to work with lawyers that go into trial. We work with a lot of PI, personal injury, people who need to go to trial. We like the action. We don't like the regular lawyer. We do divorce too, but that's the one we like. Lawyers prep more for the open statement when they go to court and the closing statement. But the first one they prepare the most is the open statement. Open statement is going to set the tone for absolutely all the conversation. So when people says, no, is what they say at the end. No, believe it or not, I tell you what you need to think, where you need to put your thoughts. So how you set the tone with the words and the way you start the conversation is the way that conversation is going to happen. Clear? 94% accuracy predicting how conflict end.
by the way you start the conversation. Again, clear? Trigger questions. Okay, we can do a party. We're not going to take it personal. We're not going to get in the fight with this. We're just going to say that these are the most common. When are you getting married? They don't ask me the second one anymore. Why don't you have kids? Because I don't want to. But until my dad and man died, they still asking. I was in my 50s, still asking. Why are you still at that job? Have you gained weight? Oh God, that is cruel. I can deal with the other one, but you gain weight? What happened with your last relationship? Damn. When you're moving back home, never. Why you are not coming to church anymore? You need to understand that sometimes people don't want to piss you off, even though you think so, is that they have expectations and they expect other people to have the same expectations. And sometimes the role of the family is piss you off. And sometimes the role of the people is piss you off. Poker face and keep going. You know those questions coming. Okay, bear with me. Do we know who is going to be doing the stupid questions? Who's going to be the aggressor? Who's going to be the conflict person? And what are going to be year by year the same questions? They happen. Just come back with nice ways to ditch it. Just ditch it. Simple. In group threat, family disagreement, identity threat. Again, family disagreement, it felt profound. When somebody that you love hurt you, somebody you care about hurt you, hurts more than when somebody you don't have any relationship with. Why? Again, our brain is not wired to be threatened by the people that we love. Threat reduce empathy, increase defensiveness. So all the empathy, all the patience I can have for you, you piss me off, you're gonna see me back. Conflict feels bigger because your identity is on the line. My identity as a daughter, my identity as a sister, my identity as an aunt, my identity as a guest, as a neighbor, as a member of the family. All those things are triggered because of all the complex of the criticism. And sometimes, again, the other person doesn't see it as a criticism. No matter how smooth is the family interaction, no matter how smooth is your company, you're always going to have conflict conversation. This can be applied to anything. I actually use the same slides with similar topics when we need to talk with HR, when we need to talk to sales reps, and when we need to talk to managers. And sometimes we use on the business setting examples of family. And in the family setting, we use examples as a business. Guess what? 70% of the family-owned companies that transfer the deed to the next generation, they don't made it. Why? Threat, criticism, and not to be able to follow the torch, following the new ideas and respecting the old ones. You're not defending the topic, you're defending who you are. That is how you feel. That's what you do in other people. Sometimes the most intelligent person on the room is the one that is able to walk away from the BS. Things that I love to say, you want to be right or you want to be happy? I tend to try to be happy, right? I know what I am. You need to prove it. You need to tell me that I am. Hell no. Contact us, as I say. We can do this for your company. Connect with us on LinkedIn or write us an email to consulting@susanivitz.com. That where you can ask for more questions. You have particular things that you're going to go over, conflict that you have in your company. We always there to help. Why this get personal fast, even when it's not? Again, remember when I said this never about the trash? It's something about something else. But guess where it's hurt the most? If you have done a presentation where you put all your heart and effort, how I can hurt you? Hurting you in what you're proud of and what you're personal about. That's what most people mean being people does. And I've been asking a lot to do narcissists and toxic personalities 101. I have 5 tips to encounter any complicated conversation at the end. So staying until the end. If you put up with me until now, at the end, you're going to see 5 tips, and you can use it for narcissists and toxic personalities too. Not personal, it's behavioral. People regress to younger version of themselves. Tone trigger memories, not logic. The brain react to past roles, not present reality. How we put all this together? Again, remember when I told you that I was the shorter one until I was 13, 14, and everybody make fun of me? So when we go to the table, that dynamic come back. And past behavior is going to determine what happened with the new behavior and future behavior. So everybody on the room, we used to have the classic Jewish, European, Italian family. A lot of people on Sundays, they wake you up, they cook the pasta, grandma, everybody goes on the table. One of the things that I noticed, even when I went to the funeral of my dad, the behavioral never changed. We always sit on the same place on the table. Even when we are not there, my mom and dad used to change the way they sit. But when we went to visit all together, automatically everybody get the position where they used to sit on the table. Crazy. It's not personal, it's behavior. We are animals that tend to do the same things, and I'm okay, and you're okay, and everybody's okay doing the same. Emotional de-escalation. The tone drop. Lower your voice on top 20%. Sometime in order to do that, you need to say, nobody going to tell you not to take a pee break. Nobody going to tell you to take a smoking break. Try to get a break. Breathe. Watch nice videos. One of the biggest tricks that I use to de-escalation when things are complicated, or when I prepping people to do Shark Tank, TikTok, investor capitals, whatever is the situation where you're going to be presented, grab your cell phone and watch puppies. No babies, no people. That can trigger things on the music that you don't never know. If you like cats, use cat. If you like dogs, use dogs. That's what I do when I'm pissed off. When I'm about to kill someone, that's what I use. That's one of the good news about the cell phone. Another thing, when I need to go, when I need to be in a meeting that everybody going to be talking and somebody going to piss me off, do you know what I put under the camera? My puppies. Or sometimes I put a picture of my kitties. I have 6, so I can choose anyone that I want. That allow me to go to a happy place, a safe place by myself. Not because other people give me, it's because I give it to myself. The observer shift. You see, I'm pronouncing better today. I try to change the tone because people complain I talk too fast. I think too fast. My significant other says, you know what is your worst problem? You're intelligent. You're too intelligent for your own good. You always 10 a step ahead. He's 100% right. Thank God he called me on. We are actually, what are we actually solving here? You see, I shouldn't have said it. I jinxed it. The circling question. Help me understand what that matter to you. Again, what are we actually solving here? That is going to make the person stop. If somebody's arguing and yelling to you and says, okay, what are we solving here? By the time that the emotions are involved and the yelling is happening, probably nobody remember what we were arguing about. But until you don't say it, you don't put an emotional shift to de-escalate that conversation and make understand the other person is probably making fun of themselves. Help me to understand what that matter to you. One of the things that when people talk about politics, because I work in politics for 18 years, I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't drink the Kool-Aid of anyone. I can argue good and bad. I can destroy you or save you, any candidate, no matter how pissed off you are. Why? Because I understand about the matter. I was on the devil den for 18 years. And guess what? The only thing I regret in my life is living politics. At least you know everybody's nuts. I can be nuts and I don't need to be politically correct. So with this says, when people start talking or want to talk with me about politics and says, I will not going to talk about the topic because I work there and I'm probably going to have a perspective from the strategic PowerPoint, the what is done, not because you're emotional. And then as soon as I said that, guess where the things got emotional. So when that happened, this is my phrase. Help me understand what that mattered to you. I put instead on need to defend myself, me need to defend my position, I swift to the other person to explain me what is matter to them. And when people explain what matter to them, then tend to de-escalate. Believe it or not, happen. I learned from the best on hostage negotiation on the world, from Mark Luther. I adore him, and Jack Cambria. And I have friends like Melanie Cahill that teach me all the time how to do better. And Mark Lofer always says, listen in silence, because people tell you what they really want. We don't listen. We hear a noise, and listen and hearing is completely different. And sometimes need to come someone who English is their foreign language to says, you didn't listen. You hear a noise. You understood what the person tried to say. Control the tone, control the outcome. One liner that saved Thanksgiving. As soon as I say I'm talking better and more pause, I jinx it. Remind me not to say that again, Elva. You're my brain outside my brain. Thank God I have you. That is one way to see it. Tell me more. Simple. Tell me more. When people want to start talking to me and networkings, and I don't want to talk about me, my personal life, my tattoos, the way I dress, whatever, I try to point something they say before, something they wear, like, oh my God, those shoes are lovely. Where you got it? Oh my God, I get in a thrift store. Tell me more. Tilt the head, tell me more, and that's it. I hear you. I'm choosing not to go into that today. That's it. You're choosing, you can walk away. Interesting. Why do you feel that? Again, shifting to the other person. Let's part that for later. Who brought dessert? And actually, Melanie talked about that. Shift, like, oh my God, we're running out of water. Oh, my water is too hot. Who want ice? And by the time you come back from the kitchen or the bathroom or outside for 10 minutes, it's great when you have kids in the room and some of them are crying, or you pull the hair and make them cry. Don't call social service. Third tactic. Now, there's always a kid creating conflict. There is always a kid crying. So deviate, like, oh my God, I'm going to take a look at what the kids are doing. That's it. I don't agree, but I respect your view. That one is tricky. It's like the question why can be inquisitive. So I go around the why. I prefer the what, how, when. I don't agree, but I respect your view. If you're having an adult conversation with disagreement, that can be a good one. If you're not having an adult conversation because the other person is all over the place, I wouldn't recommend to do that one. But again, you know your triggers. And sometimes you just you like to poke the bear. Because I know people, this weekend is going to be fun because I know everybody who like to poke the bear. I'm going to have Thanksgiving all the 4 days in a row with friends. I know who's going to be poking the bear, actually waiting to see. I wish I can record them, but they're going to kill me. Why this matter to you? Because work, conflict with clients, teams, and leaders. Life, boundaries, negotiation, emotional regulation. Not only yours, from everybody else around you. Growth, mastering reactions, mastering influence. And at the end of the day, no matter what is the set of your life that you need to require to master your negotiation, that it is negotiation. All this has to do with soft skill. Why do we know that? Because that is one of the specialties that we teach every week. It's not about the trash. It's about how you ask to be taken out. Work, life, growth, doesn't matter. It's the same, and we can help you with it. Difficult conversations are everywhere, not just at Thanksgiving. We use the time of the year to make it more fun, but happen all around us. Behavioral strategies that work. A, start soft. You decide the tone and the outcome. 2, pre-personalized. It's about identity, no attack. 3, lead the room. Ask questions that calm and not trigger. You can be prepared. And actually, it's a really good way this weekend or this week to learn about your negotiation skills. Why don't you do that? Why don't you review and take notes about this presentation and use it to learn about your own behaviors and how to control other situations? And believe me, when you feel that you can influence a situation, you're going to feel way more in control. Peace is not lack, it's a behavioral strategy. Before we go into the 5 tips that you can use, oh, I have hiccups. They say when you have hiccups, you are lying. No, I'm not lying. I know at least about this. Okay, let's go. 5 ways to cancel toxic people. And I doubted about this title, but it's wait. 5 ways to cancel toxic people. Now, how are you going to define toxic people? And this is the part where it can be narcissists, it can be parents, it can be siblings, can be co-workers, can be your boss. You need to cancel that person. How you cancel that person? 5 tips are going here. How to get away with toxic people around you and avoid conversations better. Avoid arguments. Let's go for the first one. What about that? Number 1. I'm not going to tell you. I was preparing you. This is calculating the success. We have a class that it's private, it's not open. You're not going to find it. You need to apply for it. So if you want to know about this class, I don't know if you call it boot camp because everybody call it boot camp. Actually, it's not a boot camp. There are classes you take in your own pace, and we jump in office hours and we jump in webinars, and you're going to find in your own pace. You can do body language, micro expression, start with profiling is the only one you cannot take until you take all the other ones, but you can start with neuroscience. You can make like in a calculator, you plus the classes you want to take, and at the end, you decide what kind of degree you're going to have. One of the things that I like about studying Europe, no offense, United States, is that you can make more your own class. So we have the regular classes and human behavior school, all good. But these classes are more like, what about if we help people to make the Frankenstein? What about if we help people to become what they want to become? So all this is including and calculating your success. So at the end of the day, you plus, and calculate your success to whatever you want to conquer. So if you want to know more about these classes or even any of the units to bring it to your company or your team, consulting at susanivitz.com. Let's go with the 5 myths of 5 ways of 5 things that you can do to avoid toxic people and de-escalate. Set clear boundaries. Duh is not that duh. Define what behavior you will or will not tolerate. It's the same with the kids. As soon as you put boundaries and you put limits, kids can behave. You need to put the boundaries. I put the boundaries with my cats, dogs, and any animal in my life, human animals too. Communicate these boundaries calmly and firmly. Yelling is not to be firm. Yelling is not to be assertive. You can be assertive without yelling. People tend to tell me that I'm more assertive than warm. I need to practice my warm. I'm not a warm person by trait. I do practice that. I tend to come up too strong. Duh. Consistency is critical. Even if the other person push back, stick to your limits to avoid being drawn into their patterns. As soon as you leave your territory, as soon as you cross the enemy line, you're done. As soon as you get to other people's pattern, they can do whatever they want with you. Number 2, limit emotional engagement. Keep conversation short, factual, and neutral. As soon as somebody you see that are going to a topic, it can be sexuality, politics, religion, avoid it. If somebody start with religion, like, oh, talking about religion, did you hear that? He says, talking about religion, and the other person going to think that you're going to keep talking about that. And when you reiterate the concept, you start doing the question, the person is going to start follow thinking that you're going to say something related. By the time you finish, reiterate how you deviate the conversation, they forgot what they were talking. Avoid oversharing or reacting emotionally. Avoid oversharing on the media and sometimes with the family and toxic people too. They hurt you with what they know, and they cannot hurt you with what they know either. Toxic individual maybe attempt to provoke a reaction or use personal information against you. You stay composed and focus on facts instead of feeling. Easy says than do. But if you read it, if you understand, if you take a screenshot, if you take notes, by the time you get to be more calm and ease. Oh my God, I have a meeting in 10 minutes with a client. The gray rock method. When confronted, respond with minimal emotions and short neutral answers. This is the gray rock. A strategy focus on being non-reactive and understand and uninteresting, which discourage toxic interaction and limit escalation. What do you mean this? Play dumb. Basically, what I mean with this, play dumb. If you play dumb, they can accuse you a lot of things. And sometimes they accuse me like, are you playing dumb? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, one of the best conversation is when people says, how are you dealing with the stupid people? I tell them and I agree. But what if you don't agree? I agree. It's a joke. Hello? Yeah. Rewind. I'm not a comic, but that is a joke. Neutral. Play dumb is the best way. I don't understand. Can you explain me again? The other person is going to get tired to try to explain you. Why? Because they're going to look like assholes. Keep asking why and when and how. I was in politics 18 years. Believe me, that was my best tool. Address behavior directly, if safe. Sometimes there are certain line of command on family or respect. Some people is afraid to their parents. Some people is afraid to some member of the family. Some people is afraid to the line of command at work. It's okay. If it's safe, address. Sometimes initiates a direct yet respectful conversation about the problematic behavior. Use I statement to express your perspective without blame. I feel, I think that I understood. I think that you're trying to say without blaming and describe how their actions impact you. I feel that this conversation is not going to get to any point if we keep arguing. What about you tell me what you think? I tell you what I think, and we agree to disagree where we're never going to be agreeing. In that case, you use I. This may prompt a self-reflection or at least establish your standards. When people have standards and you're clear on those objectives and a standard, it's less propensity that people are going to try to walk all over them. Prioritize your well-being. Mental health and burnout happen when you don't have an emotionally safety place. I love the word emotionally safety and safety space in conversations because I know if I know I'm not going to be attacked, I feel more comfortable to establish a conversation. Trauma doesn't come from the accident. It's coming from how you cope with the accident. Okay, I need you to see my face when I'm seeing this. Trauma and PTSD doesn't come from the heaviness of the situation, of the incident, of the accident. Trauma comes from how you cope with that situation. There are people who get traumatized because nobody invited them to high school prom, and some people get traumatized because they were raped. Both are right. Nobody's wrong. How we cope with things is what is traumatic. So your well-being has to do only with the things that you can cope and the tools you have. When you have tools like this to deal with complicated people and toxic people, is part of your well-being. Well-being is not that complicated. You don't need to go to India for a year to meditate. Your well-being has to do with how you cope with trauma, knowing what are your boundaries and how much you can take. As soon as you realize how much you can take, you can stop taking and you prepare for it. Recognize when to step back and end the conversation, reducing your exposure, seeking support for allies, and disengaging when necessary. Protect your mental health and keep unnecessary stress and drama at bay. Remember, it's your limits. You determine when you says no. Contact us. We're going to do a recoup. If you want to contact me or you want to contact anybody in the company for any reason, scan this. Let's connect and LinkedIn or write us to consulting@susanivitz.com. If we don't have any questions, guys, ladies and gentlemen, don't do questions private. Nothing is right or wrong. People is writing me on the message and like, I would encourage you to do it publicly. Nope, I'm afraid to be wrong. About what? They're questions. So remember, toxic happen when we allow the toxic person to intoxicate us. Bully happen when you engage with the other person. There are certain rules of power that tend to happen in family, personal life, and at work. They're difficult to avoid. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't allow people to traumatize it. Think about your well-being, your peace of mind. What is your safe space? What is your heaven? And that's what is important. There are many, many good things that are going to happen this long weekend. I don't have any doubt. But we just help you to prepare for the ones who maybe are not that good. And we're on top of the hour. Ever gonna finish in time? I don't think so. Guys, I will see you tomorrow for the last one of the week. We're going to talk about 5 myths and body language that you need to forget, and put on the trash. And one of them I know is going to be extremely, extremely complicated. And guess what? I love it. You see my scorn? You see my contempt? See you tomorrow, 12:15. Bye, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Be safe.